Hi everyone and welcome back to English 5. Today we are going to start with reading. So reading, English 5, reading. Let's start it. And first of all, we are going to talk about why it is important to read. Yes, reading is important for our brain capacity. And I mean to active and train our brain and to memorize what we read it. The other purpose is to develop our language by developing our vocabulary, understanding the text. The third purpose of reading is forming identity. To form our identity or to recognize it and to understand it. The fourth purpose of reading is to focus. To get the ability to concentrate. And the fifth purpose of reading is reality. And here I mean that we read the books to just escape our reality, to entertain ourselves. The sixth purpose of reading is empathy. It means that to understand the other's feelings, to empathize with them. And the last purpose of reading is for writing, for our linguistic correctness and to see and read various texts. Right? Now the content of today's class will be about the importance of reading, instruction about reading log the first week, and the reading's different strategies, which are to overlook and redact, to question the text, to investigate, to visualize, and to summarize. Okay? And now we will start with the first strategy of reading, which is to overlook and to predict. The purpose of these strategies is that we use our prior knowledge, what we know from before, our experiences, and we try to predict what might happen later on in the text or in the book. We do this while we are reading, but also before and also after reading. So when it's before we read the book, and while we're reading the book, and after we have read the book. How it's before reading the book, we will just look at the book's cover. We will look at the title, the structure, and the pictures which is in the book. And during the reading, while we are reading the book, we will think about what will happen next and why. And after we read the book, we should think about what happened and what might happen next. Okay? Some of phrases that we might use are I believe, blah, 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 because of the picture shows, and I bet that, I'm thinking that, blah, 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 I suppose that, due to, because of this, I suspect that, farther on, I believe that, blah, 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 because of blah, blah, blah. The title, which I believe that, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Now go on to our second strategy, which is to question. To question yourself about the text or the book you are reading. So the purpose of this strategy is receiving important information and control assumptions. When, yes, we do this before we read the book, and during that and after that we read it. So when it's before, during, and after that we have read the book. How? It's by questioning the text and the content, the events, message, structure, and so on the lines, between the lines, and outside the lines. And here are some important words which we use with this strategy. They are who, what, how, when, where, whom, what, which, and why. Now go on to our third strategy of reading, which is investigate text and a book. The purpose of this strategy is understanding both the whole content and details. When? Yes, it's while we are reading the book and after that we have read the book. And how? It's by pausing, investigating ambiguity, clarifying new concepts, by looking if the plot is unclear, and so on and so forth. And some of phrases and words which are very important to use with this strategy are, for example, I don't understand that word. What does it mean? I don't understand how. I wonder if blah blah blah. What does the author mean by? What does it mean and why? And go on to our strategy number 4, which is visualizing. The purpose of this strategy is to visualize what we read, what we create pictures in our head, build a relation to the text and the content. When? It's while we are reading the book. And how? It's by grasping what we read and imagine the scenery in our mind and create pictures of it and visualize the content. Okay, guys? Now, here are some phrases and words which we use with this strategy. For example, I see the protagonist as blah blah blah. For me, the scenery is when that happened, I saw and I imagined this character looking like this, and my interpretation is blah blah blah. Now go on to the last strategy of reading, which is number 5, summarize. The purpose of this strategy is to distinguish the most essential parts in a text. When? Yes, it's while we are reading the book and after that we have read the book. How? It's by picking out key points from the text, create a mind map, find the substance or essence of a text, and reformulate it. Okay? Some phrases and words which are very important with this strategy are, for example, what's the essence of the text? The essence of the text is blah blah blah. What's the text about? This text is about and what's the message of the text? The message is blah blah blah. Okay? And here are some instructions about reading log for you in the first week. First of all, you are going to work individually at first, okay? And then you will create a document and name it reading log by, for example, Peter Anderson, and the title of the novel you have reading. Then this assignment is supposed to be carried out before you start reading the novel. And you are going to answer the following question in your log. First of all, is what's the title of the novel and what associations does it give you? And then what does the book cover look like? What does it tell you about the novel? Then is there a text at the back of the cover? What does it say? What do you believe the novel is about? Who wrote the novel? Have you read anything else from this author? What is the genre? What expectation does it give you concerning plot and content? And then you will sit down with your elbow neighbor and tell that person about the novel out of what you have about. Okay? So instruction, kick off reading project. And here I just want to tell you that the most important thing is that you choose a book that matches your interests and your reading ability. This is the most important thing, okay? The best of luck, guys, and thanks for listening. Bye-bye.